So we're finally at the end of our rope with Sun in the 12th house. So let's get started with this mischievous person. So Sun in the 12th house, what does it mean? Well, what is Sun? Sun is your ego, Sun is your self-esteem, Sun is your fatherly figure, Sun is authority, Sun is the government, Sun represents creativity within you. Okay, Sun is literally your vital power, your soul. It represents your soul. Okay, 12th house represents asylum, jails, hospitals, permanent foreign settlements, foreign relations, relations across sea, represents hidden enemies, represents spirituality, represents hidden treasure, hidden talent. Okay, and it represents connection to the divine, connection to the other realm. This is why 12th house is more important than the 9th house when it comes to you seeking spirituality and enlightenment, because 9th house is more of religion. Like, okay, here's a book and it says man should do this, love thy neighbor, don't steal and blah, 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 blah. Where spirituality makes you free of those things. Spirituality says whatever is just as, So what happens when your ego, your soul, comes into the 12th house? Well, first of all, for these people, there's more than meets the eye. So these people, if they project a certain personality in front of you, like let's say I'm in front of the camera right now, and I'm talking, I'm giving you a personality, or if somebody meets me in personal life at a party, I talk to them and tell them who I am. However, there is something secretive about them that only they or their family knows. Maybe they committed some crime and now they had to move to foreign lands, and or they're in danger in their homeland, and now they have to move to a foreign land to live. So that becomes their kind of secret. They really do not share those information with people. Okay, and Sun, what does Sun do? It illuminates everything that it goes into. So if it comes in the 12th house of hidden enemies, of also losses, 12th house is losses, and losses meaning charity, or losing losing money, or losing your energy, like giving your energy away towards something. That's also 12th house. So these guys illuminate the 12th house, meaning they're able to see their hidden enemies. This placement can kind of bring embarrassment to your father, like you do something stupid and if your father is just his name is kind of ruined in the society, or also what happens is your energy, it's exerted, your energy is wasted towards your father. It could be anything. It could be, let's say your father might have ill health, so most of your life goes into taking care of your father, or it is going away from the father, like you did something so stupid and you now have to be away from the father in foreign lands. So that relationship with the father kind of becomes distant, because it's furthest away, it's the furthest house from oneself and one's ego. However, spiritual leaders are seen from this house. Like dynamic spiritual leaders are seen from this, because they can now see what 12th house is about, because they have the light. Their Sun is giving them the light. So they reach that enlightenment phase. They reach these, levels of epiphanies in their life because of Sun's light. This, however, position is very good for imagination, because 12th house represents your imagination, like for a writer to write something. And it's a dark place. That means you have to really kind of struggle with the imagination, But Sun lights it up so much that words comes easy to you to write. Script writers, directors, because they can just see it, how I'm going to present these things. Now, and since Sun represents the government, does this mean that you cannot get a government job because Sun is in the 12th house? No. This actually is a very good position for a foreign policy, foreign policy chairman, or international relationships, political international relationships. You can be working for an embassy. So if you're born in India, you might be working for Indian embassy in the United States or any other country. So you can make political connections internationally. Okay, this also has a very dynamic personality regarding business in foreign lands. So if you go to foreign lands, your ego, your image will be far better than what it is in homeland. Okay, look at the example of George Bush, a senior. Okay, he wasn't liked in United States because of the whole Gulf War situation, but internationally, he was kind of a hero. I remember that in my own age. I was like 10 or 11 years old when Gulf War started, and you know, these speeches and all these images of him were showing up on news and how he's taking United States to a whole new level. But here they weren't liking it as much. So you see how internationally they do well, but in their homeland, it kind of, the image there might be a loss of image or loss of ego through whatever you have done. Your early self-development, your early, you know, childhood ego that was developed must have developed in a regal place, however, in an isolated place. So even though you had a privileged childhood, it might have been kind of secluded, and then you went on to foreign land. This is a very strong position if you want to settle in foreign lands permanently. And also you want to take a note that Sun in the 12th house also helps gaining fame and gaining artistic career in foreign lands. So if you have Sun in the 12th house, you may not get fame, or you may get ill fame in your homeland, but if you were to go overseas in a completely distant foreign land, far away, you will gain much respect and you will gain fame there, because these people usually kind of represents wandering in foreign lands. Now that kind of sounds bad, wandering in foreign lands. Oh my God, I'm going to be lost and nobody will be here to help me. No, the meaning kind of have changed in the new ages. It simply means you're settling into foreign land and working there and living your life there and pretty much dying in foreign lands, because 12th house represents a final placement of the soul. So final placement of the soul will be in the foreign lands, and exit will happen in the foreign lands. These people are one of those people that, let's say they were about to lose their house in a week. They're about to file for bankruptcy, you know, and creditors are coming to their door. Someone might go crazy with this in this situation, okay? But these are the kind of people who will just sleep sound. They're like, whatever, shit happens. Let me just get my sleep. The worry level in one's life is lessened, because what happens is the 12th house engagement that represents these worrisome hidden enemies, hidden troubles, Sun kind of illuminates it and burns it. Okay. However, this can also be an ego and a personality of somebody who's kind of like a killer or a murderer, a psychopath. So let's say if Sun is debilitated in the 12th house with maybe an aspect of Rahu or Saturn from the 8th or 6th house, it can represent somebody who might spend their time in prison for doing something wrong, because their ego was so high that they said, I'm better than anybody else, and even if I kill you, it doesn't mean anything because I'm better than you. That can trigger a criminal act. But they can also work for government in hospitals or in jail. So like a warden of a jail, somebody who's in charge of jail might have this placement. If you're working for a government hospital, asylum, you're a psychologist, you can be working in these asylums. So this is actually not a bad position, but yes, it can hurt, or you can have a loss of image in your own homeland, or your dad can suffer embarrassment because of you. All right. So guys, this was my analysis on Sun in the 12th house. We're going to be doing a lot of stuff like that moon debilitation, and we're going to start with other planets in 12th house. I'm actually going to start with Rahu and Ketu in the 12th houses. So stick around. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe above. And if you want to know more about astrology, check out my link below. Check out my book there, Astrology, the Speed of Light. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about, baby. All right. See ya.